Welcome to our last session of April. This month we have explored how Jesus is the perfect example of a servant leader. His entire ministry was based on doing his Father's will, which was to serve others. Jesus served mankind to the point of making the ultimate sacrifice and creating the path to salvation for us. Jesus not only served those he led, but he taught and then demonstrated how people can serve one another. A true, sincere leader lives the things that he or she teaches. Today we will focus on Jesus' example of true servant leadership in the most crucial moment of his ministry, when he was on the cross. As Jesus and the two malefactors hung on the cross, he called out to his Father, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do." Though it is difficult for us to imagine doing the same, Jesus pleaded with his Father to forgive the very people that were torturing and mocking him. Jesus taught the importance of having a forgiving nature, but also knew how difficult it would be for man to develop it. However, he understood that this demonstration of forgiveness would emphasize his teaching to the disciples given shortly before his crucifixion. A few days prior to that, Jesus had said to his disciples, "And when you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive your trespasses." Here, Jesus had taught that forgiveness offered to those who have wronged you is necessary for your own sins to be forgiven. On the cross, Jesus paid the sin debt of all people, past, present, and future, including those who were mocking and torturing him. In that moment, Jesus made a point of praying aloud for them to be forgiven by his Father to demonstrate the importance of a forgiving nature. We can look at two other moments on the cross when Jesus demonstrated what he taught. In his agony, he cried out two statements, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." Even while suffering under the burden of mankind's sin, Jesus remained faithful to his Father. Looking again at the twofold nature of Jesus, we see the struggle of true man and true God. In his human nature, Jesus cried out to his Father under the weight of sin, the horrible pain, and the feeling of being alone. Because Jesus was true God, we know that at any point he could have given up on the mission and climbed down from the cross. But as the perfect servant leader, Jesus' desire to fulfill his mission and his Father's will was greater than his human nature. For Jesus, no matter what pain he had to suffer, he was willing to give himself over completely to his Father. And he did it out of love. He didn't curse his Father as he bore mankind's sin. Instead, he used the endearing terms, "Father," and "my God." Even in pain, Jesus had faith in his relationship with his Father. We can learn from the necessity and power that faith and trust and God have in one's life. When we put our faith in the right place, not in earthly things, but in our God, we can accomplish many great things that will further his work. In his final words on the cross, Jesus taught another lesson in servant leadership: the importance of fulfilling what you are called to do. His last words on the cross were, "It is finished," meaning he had completed the mission his Father had sent him to do, despite all obstacles. Just days earlier, Jesus had reminded his disciples of the value of enduring to the end, for he knew the hard times they would encounter. He said to them, "And they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. But he who endures to the end shall be saved." Even on the cross, Jesus was the perfect servant leader. He served the needs of everyone around him and taught by his example. Through offering forgiveness and grace, he served those that crucified him and the malefactor beside him. By placing Mary into the care of Apostle John, he served his mother and, representatively, the church. Christ's teaching through example had an immediate effect on the Roman centurion who had witnessed the events on the cross. Upon Jesus' death, this centurion was moved to say, "Surely this man was the Son of God." As servant leaders today, we strive to follow the example of Christ in serving God as our master and our neighbor as those we lead on his mission. To effectively do this, we must be sincere and credible. This means that when we say something, we do it, just as Christ did.